My name is Charlena Russell. I'm a music teacher, multi-instrumentalist, and songwriter. My goal for this video is to provide insight to non-Indigenous people and lead by example. My heritage is Blackfoot, Cherokee, African American, Irish, and British. Because of this, I have a unique perspective to share. As a mixed-race person, my identity isn't broken up into percentages. I'm 100% all of my ancestry simultaneously. I'm a whole and complete person. That said, in no way can I speak for anyone other than myself. I think it's important to acknowledge the privileges I've experienced because of my colonizer ancestors, while I advocate for and raise awareness around the oppression that continues to affect me as a racialized person on Turtle Island. My hope is to help our community learn and heal. We need to accept that meaning well is not the same as doing well. I feel it's particularly difficult for non-Indigenous Canadians because there is a deep-rooted toxic positivity built into the fabric of our global self-identity. Because of this, many Canadians struggle to want to go deeper than politeness, hockey, and maple syrup. This does us all a great disservice. We were all lied to, and the voices of Indigenous people were silenced. I'm thankful for artists like Janice Jolie, whose powerful art fiercely pushed me to continue dismantling my own internalized oppression and white supremacy. I will always have a deep respect and appreciation for her. It's possible to have BIPOC friends, family, and even children and still say racist things that are hurtful. FYI, BIPOC stands for Black, Indigenous, People of Color. It doesn't make you an overt racist. It simply means you need to hear and believe the people who love you enough to try and call you in. It's like, psst, hey, you have something embarrassing on your face. Except it's something ignorant and harmful coming out of your mouth. The good news is, you can apologize, educate yourself, and do better to reduce the harm you cause in this world. I've always known that my white ancestors obviously caused harm to my Black and Indigenous ancestors. But I didn't know how direct that harm was. Lethbridge, Alberta was originally the territory of my Blackfoot ancestors. They lived, hunted, and thrived in that community as nomadic people who followed the buffalo, a sacred animal and life-sustaining resource. It's said that one of the first white women settlers is my great-great-great-grandmother. Now, for many Canadians, a story of pilgrimage like this brings a great sense of pride. That's what we were taught to think. Well, for me, it's an acknowledgement of murder, genocide, grieving, and deep sadness. I have a deep awareness and painful understanding of how my ancestors were murdered and killed by my other ancestors, how they directly affected each other, how the buffalo were killed and our life source and food taken. I acknowledge that my white ancestors were the people who took those things and committed those crimes. I believe that it's very hard for most Canadians to accept the fact that our history is not full of polite, upstanding citizens. We weren't given the full story, and our schools did not teach us the truth. The government silenced the cries of Indigenous people with gaslighting and further genocide with residential schools. The Indian Act was made to hinder and control Indigenous people. Not to mention our present-day prison system and foster care system. It's not in the past. Our society is a colonial structure we all exist in and contribute to. Indigenous people still do not have clean drinking water, land back, and the 94 calls to action for truth and reconciliation have still not been honored. This is just the beginning of the work that needs to be done. We cannot look away and ignore our duty to stop the illegal injustices and genocide that are still being committed to this day. We learn so much from the earth and from the land, which is why it is so important to return autonomy over the land to Indigenous people. To put an end to pipelines and corporate greed contaminating Turtle Island. Until these things happen, we are actually all contributing to colonialism as enablers, making us all colonizers. There was a time when my own white supremacy caused me to be extremely sensitive, and my white fragility caused me to take it personally. Trust me, the discomfort is a part of the growth. Unlearning isn't easy, but it is so worth it. Basically, if you think you don't have unlearning to do, you're lying to yourself, because it's taught and internalized simply by existing in our society. If you're on this continent and you're not Indigenous, you're trespassing or a descendant of colonizers who committed mass genocide. Either way, it's our responsibility to act now, educate, donate, protest, and advocate. Thanks for watching. Miigwech.